Unfortunately, guys, these combined type of movements are still taught in personal training certifications because we think that we're getting the biggest bang for our buck by combining a whole bunch of movement. The problem with these movements is that when you're combining movements that require balance, stability, and coordination, you're not really going to be able to do that with very much weight. Your clients are not going to be able to do that with very much weight, so they're really not getting the biggest bang for their buck. In this video, we're going to show you how to make better choices for combined movements that are simpler and that you can progress your clients through, and then how to use those combined movements for very specific objectives or goals. Hi guys, I'm Mai-Linh Dovan, certified athletic therapist.
And I'm Coach Rick Simanella, certified strength and conditioning specialist.
Here at Functional Strength Academy, we empower the next generation of personal trainers
to think critically and analytically to build smarter programs.
So to start, here's a simpler exercise, a simpler combined movement that you can use with your client. Remembering that the goal when we're using combined movements is to actually use whole body movement to create that strength from the bottom up, right? So the landmine thruster is one of those movements that is relatively simple because of the position of the barbell. The client has that movement already guided. They don't need to control a free weight. Okay, so it's a great place to start. We're gonna have Rick demonstrate. And you can even segment the landmine thruster to a landmine squat and press to start. So from here, he's just gonna squat, and then he's gonna come up, and then he's gonna press. So just a bit more segmented, Rick. So squat, up, and then kind of press. Yes. So they can start with learning the squat followed by the press, and then eventually it will become a landmine thruster, where now he's gonna use the momentum of the lower body and transfer that to the barbell through the upper body. And now this is relatively simple for him because the barbell is guided through its path with the landmine. And you can then progress the client to something like a dumbbell thruster. Now they're gonna have free weights and they've got to control those dumbbells. So here he's gonna go squat and press, and same way, then he can progress to actually using the momentum of his legs to thrust those dumbbells up towards the air. So you're taking movements that are more simple, that you can overload more. And even then there are regressions that are possible. Always keeping in mind that clients have to first master the squat and master an overhead press in order to master a squat and press, and then further along a thruster.
Another thing I want you to think about when it comes to combination exercises is that in some cases they can be either additive or subtractive. So if we go back to the first example, which was the step up to curl to overhead press, in my opinion, that's something that's more subtractive toward that type of combination exercise. And the reason is because the weight that you're going to be using for a step up to the curl to the overhead press is not going to be effective for at least two of the three of those movements, maybe even all three. So it's subtractive. But in the case of a thruster, you're going to be using the power generated in the lower body to add momentum and power into the shoulder press. So now you have more potential with heavier weight, and from that position you can choose to lower the weight slowly, eccentrically. So what we're going to do here is a superset where we're going to combine two different types of overhead presses. The first one is going to be a dumbbell thruster. So the idea here is May is going to generate a lot of power through her lower body, press heavier weight than she would otherwise be able to press overhead. Now she has the potential of lowering that weight in like a 4 to 5 second eccentric tempo. So we're going to keep it really, really slow. So let's say we get 4 reps of that. Now we're going to take a short rest, maybe 5 to 10 seconds max. We'll go through this. Now, as she starts fatiguing her shoulders and can't control that eccentric, it doesn't mean that she should end her set. She can actually continue. So what we're going to do is a regular dumbbell overhead press, but this time we're going to do it seated with a back support. And the reason for the seated position and the back support is because when we're doing a heavy dumbbell thruster, the lower back and the abdominals are always going to be bracing very hard, and we don't want to put the client in a position of weakness or risk. And so by having them perform the exercise seated, they have the benefit of the support of the bench, and therefore can do, let's say, around 6, 8, 10, even 12 reps for an overhead press to fully fatigue the shoulders. So these two exercises together would be a formidable superset in building the shoulders.
There you have it, guys. We're not saying don't use combined movements, but we are saying make the right choices about the combined movements that you use. So there are some that are more simple, where you can really get the biggest bang for your buck because the clients are going to be able to use an amount of weight. If you're trying to do balance, stability, coordination at the same time, it's really just going to be too much to get any effect out of those exercises. As Rick said, it's going to become subtractive instead of being additive, which is really what we want it to be.
If you're interested in building smarter programs, make sure to hit that bell to get notified for next week's video.